Hi guys, Toni here from Toni Reviews. This week we're going to take a look at fitting these oak worktops. I've got a nice pair from B&Q. Sounds rude, but I did get a nice pair from B&Q, and I'm going to take you through how I prepared them, the materials that I use, the installation, the top coat, and how I cut the recess to fit the cooker, and then also how we got these nice pair of little matching chopping boards. So without further ado, let's roll the B-roll. So the worktops I got, they're oak, solid oak, but they're a 27mm, they're a thinner than a regular worktop. They're 27mm, whereas a regular worktop is about 40 or 38. So that means obviously I save a little bit of weight. I was thinking about what I was going to do for a worktop. Obviously it's quite difficult in camper vans, you're always conscious of weight. At the same time, you want it to look nice, it's got to be durable. I was looking at a few options. Full mica-y type stuff really wasn't going to fit in. You know, that sort of plywood laminate stuff wasn't going to go with what I wanted. I was then looking at a veneered, you know, like a worktop that was veneered with some wood, and it just so happened by pure chance I was in B&Q picking up some edging strips for the cabinets that we made, and while I was in there going down that aisle looking for the strips, there was just these oak worktops, just two of them sat there, and inquired in the store, and it was, what had happened was they had a wrong delivery, and they were like, they had four in the store, and these two were sat there, and they weren't on the website. They just had them marked up at a certain price. I think it was what did I pay for them? £78 each. And when I measured the worktops, they measured literally a couple of inches over from the length of my work surfaces. So they fit exactly, because if I would have gone for a standard board, the size of my work cabinets would have meant I would have had to purchase two 3-metre lengths, or two 2-metre lengths, and they were about 120 to 150 quid at the worktops I was looking at. So I was looking at £250 to £300 because I would have a lot of offcut, whereas here I'm going to have pretty much barely any offcut because it's the length of the cupboards that I've got. It's pure wood, which is what I really wanted, to go with all the stuff that I've got on the ceiling and the window frame, and just bring out those accents. But what I'm doing is finishing with this. So I'm using an Osmo wood wax. It's a natural oil. I think it's maybe like plant oils and stuff, but this is the walnut version. This is what it looks like in the tin. Just looks like really bad fence paint, but hopefully it's going to come out nice. So yeah, apparently it's got the instructions on the back. You put it on quite finely, and I think you do 24 hours apart of the coats. It's got all the stuff on there. Look, what's this? Yeah, look, plant-based, made from renewable, breathable, water resistant, easy to clean, you know, all that sort of stuff. And I think it is made mostly I think specifically for like worktops and that, because it's natural plant-based. I think it's safe to eat off of, and that, not that you're really gonna, you know, I'm gonna take care of these, I'm not gonna put anything on them. It'll be like, don't put your cup there. Look quite beech, sort of like a beech or a birch, but that's what they look like at the moment, and then you'll get to see what they look like once I put the stain on. But I'm going to sand both of them and then get the oil out and do them both together. So this is the worktop, oak worktop, just sanded. And what I've done is I've gone over it with an 80 grit, just to sort of get any little diggy bits and whatever's out. Then I went over it with a 120. I also had a 180 because I only had a couple of the 120s, but then finished the final coat with a 240, just to give it a really sort of smooth finish. You'll see on the back, this is it previously, if I can get it, but it's quite rough. You can see that just by the texture there. Looking at the grain, you can see the grain, whereas this is it after the sand. You see that's the grain, can you see that there? So it's just a nice smooth finish. So the way I'm doing it is I'm going to use a roller tray and a fine sort of gloss brush. It says on the tin, stir it thoroughly and then apply thinly, and all of the videos I've watched they apply it very, very thinly. So I'm going to apply it very, very thinly and then probably buffer it off after with a like a microfiber as well, just to buff it back slightly or get any excess off. But yeah, hopefully going to get an even thin coat using this roller. So fitting the worktops, obviously the units are not complete. But what we're trying to do is work out the thickness of the doors. And I don't know exactly how they're going to be made yet, but I'm allowing about 20 mil, about 18 to 20 mil thickness to sit. So hopefully they'll sit about there wide, and the cut is going to be here. So you've got a slight overhang from the very slight overhang. We had a little upstand, which I think that looks well smart. That looks so good. I really like that. So yeah, but I think John's talking about bringing this cabinet top out around this to give it a little feature. So just cut a little notch out and bring it up slightly to go round. And I think that's these little touches, rather than just square on, is what makes it look like a pro job. Chopping out the back bits there for the hinges. I'm gonna have to router out part of that side panel for it to fit as well for these gas attachments, which is a little bit annoying. Right, we'll get in there. Drilling these out. Right.
The other one up there. Yeah, we're going to go as close as we can to that post.
As close as we can to that?
Yeah.
That'd do, wouldn't it? You panicked me then when you went like that.
Right, yeah, the little tiny. Well, you don't know, if we just run a can of sink up, a drill up there. Yeah.
Winner of the game Amsterdam at 5 o'clock goes on to the quarterfinals. In today's other game, Italy.
Right, that drill fits that little cap. So I'm going to go straight in for that one, John.
Yeah. All right, that, Tony. Right.
That'll do.
One of the cardiac exits causing a queue as you approach.
Right, and see if that works. I think that might. Banging with a bit of wood, I think. What do you reckon? Or a little bit more? I've got another bigger one.
Size up.
Do you think?
See, look, the cup goes like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's where it's been stamped out.
Right, this is the biggest metal drill I've got now, which is 9, 8. Let's try that then. It's burning that, look.
Did it go through?
She's baking up, don't touch it. Right, well, this is the routering done. So I use that sort of chamfer 90 degree or 45 degree angled edge, and then I reduce the depth to give it a smaller thing to round it off. I just sanded these edges so they're not so sharp because it was really sharp. But yeah, I carried that theme on all the way around, so the smaller recess here go into the bigger depth here, and just sanded it off with a 180 and then finished it with a 240. I'm about to put the Osmo walnut wax stain on the top oil, and yeah, it's really tactile, and I'm actually surprised how it's turned out. It's turned out really quite professional. But yeah, just going to give it a little bit of a wax, and then that is it done. Right, let's try, maybe try it like here we go. Given a top coat of the wax, the Osmo Poly wax oil, both sides. Give it that nice deep colour. Yeah, it's got these nice little bits in there, even though I've made them little mistakes there when I first went on it. Do you know what? I don't mind it. I think it just shows it's homemade, because it could obviously pass as being a professional chopping board, but no, it's really nice. I'm pleased with it. It's probably come out better than I thought. That'll be a nice little matching addition to the van, matching the oak worktops, and obviously it's always nice to recycle all the offcuts, isn't it? So yeah, pleased with that. So I hope you found this week's video helpful. Sorry I won't be able to put a link in the description to the actual worktops, because it was just pure fluke that by chance the B&Q store that I was in had a wrong delivery. They had 4 of these and I ended up buying 3 of them, 2 for myself and 1 for my parents for their van build. So it was just pure fluke, but I think they were 180 centimeters long by 63 wide or 60 wide, the sort of standard width, but they were 27mm thick, so they were like the half the thickness, which is ideal for a van build. You know, you don't want anything too massive. I mean, the more weight you can save, the better. So yeah, I found them absolutely ideal. So sorry about that, because what it was going to actually mean for me in the size of my units, and you might want to think about this actually before you build your units and you think about your countertop space, is the size that these come in as standard. I know they come in like a 2 and a 3 and a 4 sort of metre, and I think the size of my actual units was going to mean that I was going to have to buy 2 2-metre unit worktops. And they were like 100, when I was looking at the ones that I wanted, they were between like 120 and 150 pound each. So it would have meant that I would have had to have bought 2 with a big offcut on each end. So there would have been a lot of wastage, and yeah, it would have cost me say 250 to 300 quid, whereas these I just stumbled upon by pure chance, pure serendipitous sort of luck. And they were 78 quid each, so it was what, 156 quid for the 2. Anyway, sorry that I can't share that good news your end, but you know, it is probably something to think about when you come to making your units. Think about the amount of countertop space and the standard lengths that these boards come in that you can get your hands on, and work out the cost that way, because maybe if I would have shortened it a bit or made it longer on one side or whatever I would have done, I could have saved a little bit of money that way. So think about that. Anyway, if you haven't yet checked out the Let Us Live website, go to letuslive.co.uk. It is a website that is inspired by motorcycle and adventure. So if you're into either of those two, be sure to check out Let Us Live. And if you use Toni Reviews in the checkout, you'll get a small discount there as well. So if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, click the little button below, click the bell icon. That means 1, you're subscribed, 2, you'll be notified when I release the latest Toni Reviews video. So if you're into motorcycles, you want to know about some of the latest gear or some of the cheap gear that I like to review that's within my budget, how it stands up to the test, or if you're into van building and want to know tips, tricks, techniques, or how to get your van to a standard like this, and maybe even some vlogs and adventures. If that sounds like your kind of thing, subscribe. It'll really help me out. I'm trying to grow the channel. So all that's left for me to do now is say safe riding, safe driving, happy adventures, and I'll see you in the next one.